Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is MundaneChats, and if you are a YouTuber, it doesn't matter big or small, this is something you should pay attention to because all things considered, in all reality, this is something that is big and is kind of freaky. So, I don't know how many of you guys out there know, I've been doing this now for 5 years. This has been my full-time job for just under 2 years. It's amazing. I love it. Not every day is Christmas, but it's an awesome experience, and it's something I don't want to stop happening. But I wonder if the type of content that I cover is going to be affected by the way things are going next. So just last week, it came out that a number of advertisers were very upset that their ads were running on videos of white nationalists, jihadists, controversial Islamist preachers, and a number of other types of videos that didn't align with their values. And they do have a right as advertisers, people paying money into our pockets in this particular fashion, to determine where they put their ads. And YouTube has been battling that now for a while. A lot of videos get demonetized when talking about certain topics like rape or ISIS or so on and so forth. If there's a national tragedy or some kind of huge event, it is very likely that YouTube will demonetize the content. And that's something that those of us who are social commentators, that are pop culture commentators, that deal with this on a day-to-day basis have to live with, and that's something we have to work around. But it feels, like I said, like they're kind of tightening that noose. And this comes today in the form of a blog post from Philip Schneider, the chief business officer of YouTube, who has a blog titled Expanded Safeguards for Advertisers. Now, essentially, it's kind of an apologetic form saying we realize that there are bad things that have happened. We realize that your ads have run on videos you don't want them running on, and we have to start taking that into account. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that YouTube is wanting to shift more towards family-friendly content. They're giving that a lot more play. They're giving that a lot more attention. New creators that aren't necessarily in that mold are not getting the type of spread and the type of reach or the type of influence that they would normally get or they used to get. And as a result of that, a lot of people are pretty freaked out. I mean, look at the whole restricted mode, controversy and whatnot, even though it's entirely optional. Literally 3,400 of my videos on this channel are blocked. If they make that a default, I am totally fucked, right? I am totally screwed. But this thing too also might fuck me and others like me over, especially if I swear too much, if I make dirty jokes, if I cover the wrong topic. It's not a lot of communication involved with that. Not a lot of information about what we can and can't do, and that is freaky. But here's what the blog says when it comes to raising the bar. We know advertisers don't want their ads next to content that doesn't align with their values. So starting today, we're taking a tougher stance on hateful, offensive, and derogatory content. This includes removing ads more effectively from content that is attacking or harassing people based on their race, religion, gender, or similar categories. This change will enable us to take action, where appropriate, on a larger set of ads and sites. We'll also tighten safeguards to ensure that ads show up only against legitimate creators in our YouTube Partner Program, as opposed to those who impersonate other channels or violate our community guidelines. Finally, we won't stop at taking down ads. The YouTube team is taking a hard look at our existing community guidelines to determine what content is allowed on the platform, not just what content can be monetized. That is freaky. That is definitely freaky to me. And it's not that what I do is wrong. I cover really weird stories. I cover fucked up stories. I give my opinions, my thoughts on them, whether we agree or disagree. It's always up for debate. But this feels like they are very much trying to tighten their grip around what kind of content can just be allowed, right? And I know a lot of people that are popular on this platform, that make money on this platform, that pay their bills, have bought cars, have bought homes on this platform, that are not always the most family friendly, that are not always the most advertiser friendly. But this to me shows that, like, that community, a lot of people out there are going to start losing their livelihood. And it could be me. It could be me. And that's something I have to take into account. Now, I am not as out there as some of my counterparts are. I'm not as vicious as some of my counterparts are, and I'm not deriding them for their content. I think there are people out there that deserve to have the piss taken out of them, myself included. I'm not perfect. We all make mistakes. They get called out. But I'm wondering also how much this is going to affect the anti-SJW part of YouTube, the people who make response videos. Now, we've noticed lately that there have been fewer and fewer feminists or regressives or social justice warriors that have been making videos that usually got the fair amount of responses. And it's entirely possible that that they're just waiting. They're just waiting for this to strike so they can come back, because people won't be able to monetize those response videos. People won't be able to, maybe in some cases, even make those videos. Because if they say here, harassing based on race, religion, gender, or similar categories. And it's not to say that anti-SJWs do that. It's not to say that at all. They many times they don't. They attack on an intellectual level, but it gets conflated and turned into one based on gender, race, religion, etc. And it's such an intellectual dishonest moment when that happens, but it happens. And again, that's something that very much freaks me the fuck out. And then also when it says here that it's looking at what kind of existing guidelines, you know, to determine what's there, what's not there, what can be allowed, what can't be allowed, and what can be monetized. It feels like they're trying to restrict that news. And I know there are going to be people out there that are going to say, hey, you should, you know, support me on Patreon and help me out that way if you feel this is going to be a thing. And honestly, you should if you want to. I very much believe that. No, I'm not shilling myself. You can if you want, whatever. But that is a lot of it. And if you like the kind of content that these people make, these are the people that are most going to be impacted by this. And it is YouTube's right to do it. Let's make no mistake about that. They have every right to restrict content on their channel. And I think that right now they're focusing on like the white nationalists, the racists, ISIS, you know, a lot of that out there type stuff is what I think they're focusing on more than anything else. But it could start to restrict to just a difference of opinion. However, there is a silver lining in this. He does say towards the beginning of this blog post that that they are trying to protect ideas, even ideas they disagree with. Now, I don't know if that is just glad-handing, if that's just saying it to make people like me feel, oh, we're fine, we're not under attack. They're going for the more extreme, the really extreme side of things. But they're going, you know, if we have difference of opinion, that's fine. I don't know. I don't know. And you know what, though? This is where it's going to be a problem if it goes crazier, because MCNs are going to come in and they're going to be like, we'll protect you. Give us 20, 30, 40%. We'll protect you. I'm letting you guys know right now. They won't. They can't. They can't at all. I'm not trying to scare anyone away from doing YouTube. I'm not trying to frighten anyone who does this full time. I'm saying be cautious. Look to the way the winds are blowing. Pay attention to what's going on. Read the trades surrounding YouTube. Look into it for yourself. Determine how you want to proceed. And you might, to some respect, need to tailor your content in order to be able to fit within those guidelines. Or you could throw the dice, risk it, say fuck it, and see what happens. And either one could have a positive outcome. I literally have no idea. But it's just something to keep in mind of. Because the one thing that we can't lose right now, especially on this channel, especially on this platform, are people who advocate for free speech. Whether they agree on everything or disagree on everything, it doesn't matter. But these are people that advocate for free speech. And we know right now that the free speech wars have begun. We know that that is a thing right now. And people are trying to shut down free speech. Look what's happening on Twitter. Look what's happening on Facebook. You criticize Islam on Facebook and they'll shut your account down for 30 fucking days. Right? Like, we know that these platforms are restricting and restricting and restricting. We all use them because that's our primary mode of communication, which makes sense. But we still need to speak out. We still need to speak out against it. We still need to make sure that we're paying attention. And if you are fans of these different people, of these different, you know, creators, speakers, thinkers, whatever, follow them on their social media platforms. because that's where they're going to be able to tell you if stuff goes wrong. That's where you're able to get the direct filter. And honestly, Trump is right. Twitter is his best form of his best form of communication, that and Facebook, social media in general, to communicate to his audience. And that is something you may want to look into. So my social media links are below if you guys want to follow me. I post a lot. But I do want to know your thoughts on this. Do you think that this is the beginning of the end of YouTube as we know it? Do you think this is going to become far more draconian than what they're kind of stipulating here? Do you think that we're all fucked? It's all over. We should all go home and get real jobs. These are things I want to know. So go ahead and write down in the comments. My name is, of course, Mundane Matt. If you guys haven't already, please thumbs up the video. Subscribe if you're new. Check back daily for more content from me. If you want to check out my vlog channel or my movie news channel over here, you can do that. It'd be great. I will talk to you guys later. Have yourself a fantastic day. Peace out.